Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I will be talking about a story time that happened at my house, some paranormal crap. Um but nothing major. So it was a normal day. Oh no, it was probably a weekend. And my family came over because my grandparents used to live with me at the time. So they would come over every weekend, pretty much they would be at my house. So that weekend we had like a carne asada, and obviously the parents are always gonna be outside, doing their thing, and then the kids were inside my house, and then some of them were outside in my front yard. I was mostly in my front yard just because I'm always at my house. I don't want to be inside. um but that day I told my cousins that were inside, I was like, hey, like, let's come outside, let's play, whatever. So we were playing for like an hour and a half. After that hour and a half, we came inside, and I was like, hey guys, let's go into my room. I had board games at the time. So I was like, oh, we could play Snakes and Ladders. We could play Monopoly or whatever. Uno, especially Uno, because I do like Uno a lot. And Loteria. So we did that for a few, I don't know, maybe half an hour to an hour. And when we were doing that, I had books, like a bookshelf. I had books, and then my cousin's like, oh, you have like a scary story video? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, can we read it? By this time, mine, like, it's already 7, 8, so it was dark. And we did that. And I was like, yeah, like, we could read it or whatever. Like, I didn't mind reading it because, I mean, I already had read it. And then I had about 8 cousins that were in my room. So we're like, we could take turns. Like, I'll read a chapter, you read another one, like, whatever. So we turn off the lights because we wanted to make it super scary, like if it was some other different type thing of the other world. So we turned it off. My cousin had a phone at the time, so only like 2 or 3 of my cousins had phones at the time, including myself. And they were like, okay, well, like, bring out your phones, like, we'll just flash you this and that. So we did that. And so while I'm reading, I was started with Scary Stories just because that is one of my favorite books, and the movie is awesome. Like, awesome. I really thought low of that movie, but it was awesome. And so while I'm reading, so I had a counter back then. Now I don't know where it's at, but I had a counter, and I had a light at the edge of my counter, and I had a doll, but it wasn't my doll, it was my mom's doll, and I had it in the middle of the counter. So all my cousins were around me, literally around me. No one was in the front, so everybody was behind me. So as soon as that happens, like, I'm already reading. Mind that I'm already reading. They're all behind me. And while I'm like near the end, guess what happened? That doll falls out of the damn counter. I don't know where, no one was near me, so I have no idea how it was able to fall, like, off the counter. So my cousins and I start like yelling. We get out of the room. We start telling everybody. By everybody, I mean everybody. And nobody believes us. They're like, no estén diciendo mentiras. Like, don't be saying that. Like, this and that. Like, that those things don't happen here. And since my grandma's really, really religious, it's like everything for her of that, it's like blocked out. So after that, the next weekend they come again, and we start talking about it. And then we're like, well, how did that happen? Like, how did all this happen? And it was like, like nobody had an idea, so we just left it alone. We're like, okay, we're done. Like, we're not talking about this. But once in a while, when there's parties, like, we'll laugh about it, because we do talk about scary stories and we laugh about it, but it doesn't have an explanation of how it happened or anything. So let's see how that goes.